Say hello to the July kittens. Already have two books to tell you about. The first one is Finished Vindalanda. If you guys have been following these monthly, you will know that it took me about a month to read this book, and it was driving me absolutely crazy because I just wanted to finish it and I just didn't like it. It was a really high intensity action a lot of the time, and it wasn't well written. The action scenes weren't well written, they were hard to follow, and the characters were all very similar and kind of two-dimensional, not particularly interesting. I didn't care about them. The plot that there was one was kind of hard to follow. It was kind of all over the place in some spaces because it was like the fighting's more important than the plot, but I need to know really why you're fighting before I can get into it. And this morning I finished The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. That was a book club book for this month. I started it when I finished this, but I need to finish it for book club tonight, so I sort of just sped read it. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Again, it's a book that tackles a very real and a very important issue, but I don't think particularly did it in a particularly great way. It had a sort of general overarching theme of feminism, but there wasn't a specific goal in mind for this. I feel like if it had one specific message that it was trying to push, it would have been more effective. I'm going to start reading. It's in my bag because I took it out this morning but I didn't get a chance to read it. Trumpet by Jackie Kay, because Carla is making me read it. That's it. I haven't started it yet though. I thought I was going to start it on the bus and then I didn't. My feelings about this book. Some parts of it really irritated me. The point of view changes a lot through this book and I really liked that. The wife's point of view I didn't like at all. She was extremely pretentious and over the top. Jackie Kay is a poet and you could definitely read that, but it didn't translate particularly well. All of the other people I liked. There were some certain sections where the poetry of it got a little bit out of hand and it just read like filler. It didn't read like anything poetic. It read like filler bits that I could just skim over. I'm sure a lot of other people will read this and disagree with me and say that it's the point of the book, but that's not what it was for me. For me, the point was a story about gender identity, I think. The next book I will be reading is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, and I'm already about halfway through. I'm going on a mysterious mystery trip tomorrow with Amy from work, who is also an avid reader, so I'm expecting that we're both going to be doing quite a lot of reading on the coach and things. So as well as War of the Worlds, which I'm currently reading and finishing, I'm going to bring with me The Other Alice by Michelle Harrison. Apparently it's award-winning. My voice down because it's early in the morning and everyone else is still asleep, but I couldn't sleep last night at all. In fact, I only got 2 hours sleep, but my intense insomnia did mean I managed to finish War of the Worlds. It's not a fantastic book. The plot is not fantastic, the ideas behind it are not fantastic, the writing's not fantastic, but it's really interesting. If any of you are sci-fi fans, I would highly recommend this. It's way before its time for one thing. I want you guys right now to put down in the comments what year you think this was written. It came out in 1898. I assumed it was sort of 40s, 50s B-movie era kind of time because that's what it reads like, but it only reads like that because all of the sort of sci-fi B movies that were coming out in that time are based on all the cliches in this. if you are into sci-fi at all, this is a fascinating read. Going to a Pride concert later, hence the makeup and the fact that I haven't done my hair yet. Finished The Other Alice by Michelle Harrison. It was a kid's book, middle grade at a push. So I'm not entirely sure why we read it for our book club, because I gave it like 2.5 stars, rounding it up to 3, because it was incredibly unoriginal. It is Inkheart. The idea and all the characters are exactly the same as the ones in Inkheart. Like, the plot's different, but the idea and the characters are the same. There's one part where the main character describes having to get rid of someone, like as in kill them. And then later the villain says get rid of, and there's all this text about saying like, oh, she's saying get rid of, like she's just discarding someone, like she's just a thing. Like, yeah, but you said that a chapter ago. Like, you said the same thing about her a chapter ago. Like, so what's the issue? It's alright, if you don't think about it too hard. So the next book I'm reading is Tinker Tailor Soldier Die by C.S. Woolley, because I'm currently reading this series and Kaz is great, and this is the next one to get. This is actually the third one that she sent me because the other two didn't come through in the post. First book I finished this month was Vindolanda, which I now don't have a copy of because I sent it for a book swap because it is local, so I thought that would be cool. I didn't like it. That's why it took me so long to read. The action was all over the place. The plot didn't really make much sense without the action making sense. The characters were two-dimensional, didn't really, I don't know, I just didn't really care about them that much. So in the end it got 2 stars. I read The Nowhere Girls. I forgot that I'd read this month, so that kind of shows you how much of an impact that had on me. I also read it in a couple of days because I needed to read it for book club, but yeah, now I'm thinking about it, there is elements of it that I enjoyed, but some bits of it, I don't know, I hardly remember anything about it, so it hasn't stuck with me that much. I gave it 4 stars, so I must have enjoyed it at the time, but now. Then I read Trumpet, which I gave 4 stars, which was very, very, very interesting. Not what I was expecting at all. Some parts of it were really pretentious, some parts of it I really enjoyed, but overall pretty good. As I said, I give it 4 stars. I read War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This was really, really, really interesting. Really interesting. Not the best read ever, but if you're interested in sci-fi, then I would definitely recommend checking this out because it's just a fascinating read. It's really fascinating to read something that's so ahead of its time, to the point where it's almost like it's trying to predict what sci-fi is going to be like, and then the whole sci-fi genre grew around this book. I read The Other Alice, which apparently I gave 5 stars to. I know that isn't true. No, that says 3. It was a copy of Inkheart. Basically, it was like a younger children's version of Inkheart. It was okay. If you like reading or stories, and ooh, I hear voices. Is someone coming into our house? Maybe like 7, then you might enjoy it. But it's not for me. Was not aimed at me. Was not received particularly well by me. Started reading Tinker Tailor Soldier Die by C.S. Woolley. I'm not finished. I am this much left. I'm on page 155. I'll probably finish this today. It is the best in the series so far. Definitely the best in the series so far. These books get better and better every time one comes out. I'm sure that's everything. If you have any questions, then leave them down in the comments. I do new reading vlogs every month, but new videos every Wednesday if you want to see me doing some other things. Sometimes my hair's in a better state than it is today, sometimes I look like this. Who knows? I need to stop waving this pen at you. It's a cool pen. It's like a gay National Trust pen. I got it at Pride. Yeah, that's everything. See you next week, I guess. What video am I posting next week? I can't remember. You guys will know. You might even know by now. Depends on when you're watching this. Okay. Let's stop. Okay, bye.